What's up, guys? Welcome in. It is Monday here on Wake Up Barstool, and we got Dave Portnoy, Brandon Walker, and the nerds with us. Going to recap an incredible Game 7 of the World Series, maybe the best we've ever seen. An absolutely wild NFL Sunday. We got Greg Olsen and John Gruden coming by for the football G-Spot. We also got Coach Gruden's Shredline and Brandon Walker's new college football top 10. Let's get it started here on FS1. Yes, Brandon. Are you raising your hand?
No, I'm just saying, what's up?
Oh, number one.
Yeah.
Okay, that was confusing. What's up, y'all? Monday, Wake Up Barstool. There he is. There's Brandon. We got Meek Phil and Liam Blutman as we talk about Behind the Glass. And we got Dave Portnoy joining us remotely. Dave, what's up, brother? How we doing this weekend?
Having printer issues over here in the Keys, which is starting the day a little bit on and off the boat. But other than that, I'm doing all right. Okay. Michigan win, Patriot win, back-to-back. Football victory Mondays for you boys, so I'm doing good.
All right, listen, Patriot win, sure, but you called that a win really early yesterday. You were living dangerously.
With the Patriots?
Yeah, you said the Patriots just kill each other. We destroy everybody. We just destroy everybody.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I called a little early because I believe it was 21-7. We had the ball, looked like we're going in for another score, and then a sack, fumble, turn the whole game, and we end up winning by a point. But in this league, and nobody knows it better than me, Brand Walker, I don't care if you win by 30. I don't care if you win by 1. These are all paid professionals. Any given Sunday, as that movie says. I mean, you get the Vikings going out, shocking the Lions. You have the Packers losing to Carolina. In this league of ours, in this great league of ours, you don't get pretty points. You just get points for winning. We've won 6 in a row, tied for the best record in the AFC. So I don't care if it was pretty, ugly, whatever. Oh, in this NFL, a win is a win is a win. You take it, you get out of Dodge, and you move on to next week.
Just saying, you won on a missed extra point. It looked like you had jinxed the team there for a while.
No, but look.
Well, if ifs and buts were candy, every day would be Halloween. We're 6-2. Look, 7-2.
7-2.
7-2. I'm going to be at the game in Tampa next week, sitting with my good friend, Mr. Bob Kraft, personal invite. So we're rolling. We're rolling. So you can say, well, you almost jinxed them. You almost did this. You almost failed. We won the game. That's all that matters in the NFL.
That's all that matters.
No one knows it better than Dave. You can't take any wins for granted. There's not a single human being on the planet that knows that better than Dave. I got a question for you, Dave.
Yep.
So we talked last week about how sometimes, like when football season's going on and you have a baseball game, even a World Series game, run up against the football, that sometimes it's just hard to break through, whether it's like college football Saturday, NFL Sunday. I don't know about y'all. I'll pose a question in the room, but for the first time probably in my life, I actually forewent football for baseball Saturday night. And I think we saw maybe arguably the greatest Game 7 World Series in baseball history.
Yeah, well, anytime you have a Game 7 in anything, obviously that's going to draw people more than it would just Game 5, Game 4. So that had that going. You also have the YouTube ESPN skerkoffle going. So a lot of people aren't adapting to that quite yet. So a lot of ways that you'd watch football, college wasn't available. I'm not even sure what the night games. I know Walker sneaked through with the Mississippi State. Who was it? Tennessee?
Tennessee, Oklahoma.
What's going on? Yeah.
So that's not a monster game. I watched the World Series, and you're right. It's one of the great baseball games ever. I mean, I gasped 2 plays in a row. I gasped the play at the plate, and then I gasped on the outfielders when they smashed into each other, like literally verbally to myself, like just 2 unbelievable plays. I'll tell you what, the play at the plate, when they first showed the replay, I thought he was safe. Like, I thought he wasn't on the plate. He got back. He was out. But two just gut-wrenching plays. And, you can get a little bit romantic about baseball when something happens like that, but the way the pressure amps, the way everything goes, there's really nothing like it. And of course, the Blue Jays have first and third with one out, and to hit into a double play and just get gut punched like that. And here's the other thing about this sport in particular, maybe not like the Dodgers. The Blue Jays aren't going to be back. I mean, I hate to say it. I don't know if we have a lot of our fans out in Toronto. I don't know if we're big there, but you're done. Like you're not going to be back. And this isn't a sport where you automatically reboot. I don't look at their pitching staff and say, oh my God, you got 1 through 5 who's going to shut down. You're going to have up years, down years. They got a bunch of free agents, but they're in the AL East where you run into the Yankees, you run into the Red Sox. This team isn't going to be back in that position for another 35 years minimum. So they got their guts ripped out. It's a city that loves to get their guts ripped out with the Maple Leafs. So I don't know what it says about me, but I was kind of happy they got their guts ripped out.
Wow.
Crazy. That is so crazy.
Yeah, I wasn't rooting for it.
That is so dark. This is like the easiest team to empathize with. Like
That's the most hating ass hater thing I've ever heard.
Well, the Dodgers don't bother me. This is a division team in my division.
Yeah.
That's fair.
The Dodgers, I don't really, Dodger fans are LA softies. They don't really affect me. The Dodgers aren't hateable. I mean, I like Ohtani. This guy who comes in, Yakamoto.
Close.
I was led to believe that if you pitch 2 days in a row, your arm falls off, physically falls off.
Yeah.
For him to come in, I don't know how long they were going to let him go. One of the all-time sports performances, and maybe it's because we live in a world where we've been taught guys can't go more than 6 innings. Guy throws 90 pitches the day before and bails them out. One of the it had a little bit of everything. And yes, there's something that was watching these Toronto fans being like, I didn't want to celebrate. I didn't want an AL East team. Maple Leafs fans, there's a lot of crossover for Boston there a little bit, but LA, I don't care about LA. Like, you play on the West Coast, there's no rivalry for me with the LA Dodgers. We beat them last time we were in the World Series. The Blue Jays, I'm too familiar with. I was rooting against them, and I love to see people get their hearts ripped out. I love going into the locker room and seeing these players cry, oh, we're not going to have this group together. It was a special group. I love it. Let's make sports great. Watch these grown men weep crocodile tears.
I have some numbers that make it even more cruel. The Blue Jays outscored the Dodgers 34-26 in the series. The Dodgers only had one batter hit over 300 the entire series. It was Shohei Ohtani. The Blue Jays had 6.
Wow.
The Dodgers hit 203 in the World Series. That is the lowest by a champion since 1966 Orioles. Oof. And Miguel Rojas, the batter that tied the game in the 9th inning, he did not hit a home run off a right-handed batter all season. The one home run he hit off a right-handed pitcher.
I thought he had one, right?
Off a position player.
Oh,
so he had 7 total off right-handed pitchers the entire past 3 seasons.
Meek, I'll give you one more. If the guy takes a secondary lead, which you're taught.
IKF, yeah.
If you're taught to do and this is why anyone who's played baseball, you do first and third drills, bunt drills. You do these repetitive drills over and over, get your second. If that guy gets a secondary, they win the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little bit like Dave, and I was rooting for the Dodgers in the end, but mine turned during the game when a Blue Jays hitter got hit or got brushed back,
Jimenez.
and the benches cleared. Nobody's trying to hit you in Game 7 of the World Series.
Nobody
in the world is trying to hit you in Game 7 of the World Series, and he gets all his feelings aflutter, and he's doing all this, and they get the warnings and everything. I'm like, relax, man.
I mean, look, I don't think it was as much about like.
Look at him.
No, I saw it. I get
I'm
it.
confused, Walker.
Tensions are high.
Blue Jay hitter.
What are you saying?
That made you root for the Blue Jays?
No, that made me root for the Dodgers.
Oh, I thought you had it reversed. You were rooting.
No. That made me root for the Dodgers. The Dodgers were also trying to fight from behind all game, and they did. They just kept going and kept going and kept going. And the guy that comes off the bench, Rojas, right?
Yeah.
And he hadn't had a hit in a month.
Yep.
And Dave Roberts said, "Oh, it's just my gut. I feel like this guy's going to make a play," and he ends up making the biggest play of the entire baseball season.
It's more cruel it was Rojas that tied it than Ohtani. Because if Ohtani ties, it's like, okay, great player, great moment. Miguel Rojas, no one's going to remember him.
Well,
and another note on him, he said he wanted to retire after next season. Someone needs to tell Miguel Rojas to retire right now. You're not getting a better storybook than what just happened.
Also, the play, that ground ball to second, he's stumbling and he's bumbling. He makes an unbelievable off-balance throw after he loses his balance. The guy doesn't get a second. There's so many little, and you can always go back if you did this differently, but in baseball, it just feels there's so many little tiny moments. If they just broke 1/100th the other way, the Blue Jays are celebrating, and the whole country was behind them, right? The whole country. I saw a Connor McDavid clip, and he's talking about how the Oilers were playing, and they're showing the Blue Jays game during the Oilers game. He was actually upset. He's like, it's weird. I was distracted. They took it off. But he also said, listen, I'm gutted for the Blue Jays. I'm gutted for the players. I'm gutted for this country. We lose. That's all we do. We lose in horrific fashion. Nobody knows it more than me. And this is a city and a team that has now really made a habit out of being just emasculated on the biggest stage at the biggest moment possible. And I loved it. I don't like anybody winning except my teams. Now, I accept that my teams can't win all the time. So if somebody else has to win, I want it as far away from me as possible. And like I said, the Dodgers don't really affect my day-to-day life.
That's fair. If you want one final salt in the wound for the Blue Jays here, Hoffman up to that point, 11 innings pitched, Meek, 16 Ks, 1 earned run through the entire postseason, and then ice-cold Rojas gets him. How about this? Have you all ever heard of the concept of the golden pitch? The golden pitch. It's a very rare baseball scenario in which it has to be Game 7 of the World Series.
Right.
And it's any pitch in which both teams can win the World Series on that pitch.
Oh, that was
we got
the double
7
play?
on them. We got 7 of them because you had the winning run at home, and then you had the double play potential there, and so you had 7 pitches. And this is why baseball is so great, right? Is because everything can turn on a dime in those high leverage moments. 7 pitches with all that narrative hanging in the air, and then the Dodgers get it done.
Also, and I've explained, and maybe soccer is the European equivalent, but when you're down a run in baseball, down 2 runs in baseball, it feels like you're down 28 in football. In football and in basketball, for them, not hockey as much, but you can see like the comeback sort of happening. Like you're like, well, if we drive here, we get a fumble. In baseball, you feel like you're defeated till you're not. Like you're just sitting there like, oh, this game's over. Then bang, lightning strike, home run, you're back in it. And it's just the emotion swings. It really is very unique to the sport. And again, that Game 7 will live on forever. And I do think, like you're saying, T-Bob, the fact there wasn't a monster game against it in football, the YouTube ESPN thing, I think all was shining on this Game 7, and it was an unbelievable game.
Well, and you got Japan locked in, you got Canada locked in. Like the worldwide ratings for this are going to be absolutely insane. And we should say, shout out to World Series MVP Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who ends up doing his best Randy Johnson impression, winning 3 games. Like you said, 98 pitches the night before, comes in, closes it out, even when he doesn't have his best stuff. It was a legendary performance from Yamamoto.
It's the greatest performance in the history of baseball. I truly believe that.
Really?
96 pitches in Game 6. You go 6 innings. And the biggest
Better than the Ohtani 3 home runs?
Yes, because...
What about Bumgarner in 2014?
This is 96 pitches in Game 6.
Yeah.
Nobody thought he was available besides him. He get 8 outs, including with the bases loaded, 1 out. The season's on the line.
Dave asked the question, how long would he have gone? I think forever. I think it would have gone forever.
So Kershaw and Sasaki were warming up in the bullpen. I think if it got to Varsho, they would have let Clayton Kershaw pitch to make his last out Game 7 of the World Series.
I still say forever.
Maybe, but
Meek, I have a question for you. You're a nerd. You like baseball. Am I wrong in my belief that Japanese pitchers are totally different than American? Like they pitch a lot more. Their arms are the way they're pitch are just different. Don't they throw a lot more?
The reason they pitch a lot more is because the ball is smaller in Japan, and they also pitch once a week. They go on 6 days rest as opposed to 5. So it makes Yamamoto even more unlikely.
So
that's the
so I'm
opposite.
wrong then.
Yeah, it sounds
Right.
like it
So
sounds
you
like
didn't answer
got
the question at all.
sounds like you
I
got the
gave
exact-
a
That's very
description.
funny because Meek's love of Dave was put to the test.
Yeah.
Because Dave was completely inversely wrong, and he was still kind of like,
Yeah,
no,
I thought
yeah.
I heard like when the Japanese pitchers came over, it was kind of like they had to really tell them they shouldn't throw as much. Maybe I'm wrong. That could be one of those
Pitch
things that
count
get up
wise,
in my head.
he went up to like 150 pitches in a game in Japan.
Oh, okay.
So like,
But then you get
Well, that's
longer
crazy.
rest.
yeah.
I did like that Dave Roberts just said pitch counts are out the window for everybody on.
Yeah, it's Game 7 of the World
Yeah.
Series. Not
Yeah.
the
It's Game
Mavs.
7.
It's just
Empty it.
stunning. It's just stunning because in today's age, that's I think one of the big gripes maybe of baseball and pitching is the guys don't go long. Like they're 5 innings is a win, and guys rarely go 6. You got like Meek was saying, to see a guy go 90-something pitches the night before 0 days rest, come in and dominate like he did in the most important times, high leverage pitches. An absolutely stunning, unbelievable performance.
Yeah, and it caps off what was just a great series, man. A series that baseball, I feel like, desperately needed. And look, here it did. After an NFL Sunday, we had Bills Chief last night, all this stuff, and look at what's leading the show for the entire first segment. So shout out baseball, shout out the Dodgers, shout out Dave's ice-cold, unempathetic heart reveling in the Blue Jays' pain. Coming up next, we got the Football G-Spot with Greg Olsen and John Gruden. Don't go anywhere. It's the best segment every week. We break down everything that happened on NFL Sunday. More right here on Wake Up Barstool. It's FS1. What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. It's time for our favorite segment every single week. That is the Football G-Spot with John Gruden and Greg Olsen. Take it away, boys.
Got me feeling icy.
I love football. Knock on wood if you're with me, everybody.
Can I finish my point?
All right, welcome in, Greg, Coach. And the number one, we thought it would be what the number one thing everyone was talking about this morning would be the Bills Chiefs, but I think it's shifted due to a late injury in the Sunday night game, 7:40 left in the game. The Commanders trailing the Seahawks 38-7. Brutal injury to Jaden Daniels. We're showing it. Are we going to get criticized for gratuitous grossness here? A real ugly injury. Rolling down, falls down, dislocates his elbow. That's been confirmed. We're just showing it. We're just showing it.
Oh, God.
We don't want to show it. So, and that's a clip we're showing. We got T-Bob laughing in the background. We'll delete that part out. So everyone is going at Dan Quinn. 38-7 in the game. They said, what's he doing in there? Coach, I'm going to start with you. I don't know if you've been in exact similar. I assume you have. What are your thoughts here on him still being in the game?
Well, a couple thoughts, Dave. Number one, it is 38-7 with 7 minutes left. You probably should take the guy out of the game, given the fact that he's already been hurt twice. There is a thought, however, that Daniels and this offense, they've got to come together and find some kind of identity. Let's get him a couple completions, maybe get him a couple mop-up touchdowns, and maybe get this offense going. They have just not looked good at all. Daniels is scrambling on almost every single drop-back pass. I would have taken him out given the circumstances of the game, but I know deep down Cliff Kingsbury and the Commander staff probably wanted to generate a little bit of confidence, try to get some positive momentum for this offense that has really disappeared.
Greg?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been in many games where we were on the wrong side of the scoreboard, and you find yourself in the fourth quarter and you start looking at the clock and you're saying, all right, how long am I going to be in here? If I am in here, my expectation is I got to play hard. I got to compete. What you put on film is what you are. That's a kind of a big kind of narrative around the league amongst the players. I hate second guessing coaches in these situations. I think it's a lose-lose. I think obviously if they knew he was going to get hurt, they would have taken him out of there. He could have gotten hurt in the third quarter. He could have gotten hurt and the score was 14-7. So it's so hard in the NFL to make the call on when you're going to take guys out of a competitive game. I think you've scored 7 points up to that point. You're trying to, coach's point, you're trying to put together something positive, something at the end of the game to go into the locker room, to go into the next week, to build off of. You hear coaches say it all the time. I've been in those huddles. I've been in those locker rooms where it's like, hey, we are going to play for 4 quarters regardless of the score, and we're going to try to build as much as we can out of each opportunity. There was a lot of starters On the other side, on Seattle, there was a lot of starters who were playing as well. So I don't know. I have a really hard time second guessing coaches in the moment, especially a struggling offense that's trying to get a young quarterback and a scheme and young receivers, beat up roster, trying to get some continuity and find a little bit rhythm, as they close that game out.
Yeah, I agree with you, Greg, and I can't criticize a coach in that situation because they have bigger, well, they don't have bigger issues now that he got hurt, but they really weren't playing well leading up to it. So you got to get them going. He's coming off an injury. He's your whole team. I think the bigger issue is what Coach Gruden was just saying. He's running all the time, and he's a fragile guy in the sense, not big, skinny, and if he's not going to get hurt on that play, the way Washington is going, he's going to get hurt at some point again because he's taken a million hits. Sure, you can take him out, but I remember Wes Welker got hurt. Belichick never took teams out. Wes Welker got hurt on a meaningless blowout. They were ahead heading into the playoffs. To a degree, I think you got to play football. Maybe you get a little more conservative, but that team was already going to be on our loser board heading into today, regardless if he got hurt, because they had huge expectations, and they've been pretty bad. That leads us into the winners and losers of the week. Coach, I know you are a Packers guy. We've sat here, and you've told me how, the Packers are the best team in the league and this and that, and then you turn around. They've lost to Cleveland. They've lost to Carolina. Are they still one of your Super Bowl favorites, Coach?
Well, I don't know, Dave. After losing Tucker Kraft, that is a big blow to the Packers. That was a disappointing outcome. They were 13.5-point favorites. I can't explain what is going on in the NFL. I mean, the Lions coming off a bye, the Packers both in the same division. They just don't look good in Green Bay yesterday at all. And I give Carolina credit. They came in with a ball control offense, and they just ran the clock and won the game of field position, and they got enough out of their field goal kicker. But Green Bay, you're right, Dave. They ticked me off basically yesterday. I was shocked at their inability to get anything going on offense. And I'm telling you, losing Kraft is big, man, because he bails them out in a lot of situations, and he's a good blocker. Some of the things he doesn't even show up on the stat sheet. But that was a horrific loss.
Greg, you called the game. I mean, people were getting mad at me because I said Drake may have him way ahead of Jordan Love on my big board of QB rankings. Greg, what'd you think? You called the game.
Yeah, I mean, it played out exactly the way Carolina needed it to play out to pull a game like that off. And it was to play limited possessions, play ball control. They made the decision. They won the toss. They took the ball, kept Green Bay on the sideline. Now, part of that was the wind and the weather, and it was kind of a crazy day wind-wise, and the kicking and the passing game was a bit kind of disjointed. But it was Green Bay touched the ball 8 times, didn't punt, and scored 13 points. It's just I think they need to put the game more in Jordan Love's hands. They are a good passing offense going into that game. I had Jordan Love as a top 5 guy. Through the first half of the year, he was a top 5 quarterback in the league this season. And I think they need to let him do more. I think he's a really talented guy. I think he can sling it all over. I think they've got young, talented wide receivers. I agree. Tucker Kraft going down is just devastating. That was such a fluke, random play. He was the second puller and counter, Coach, and the defensive end comes out and takes out the guard's legs. And as the guard gets his legs kicked up, he kicks the side of Kraft's knee. And, you heard LaFleur after the game say it didn't look good. It obviously didn't look good in person, but yeah, that was a shock. We went into the game saying, all right, how does Carolina just keep it close? And then next thing you know, not only do they keep it close, they make just enough plays there at the end. Rico Dowdle is a dude. He is a man. He is everything you want your back to be if you're going to be a ball control, 30 touch a game type of a running team. He is a huge difference maker. Getting back to him being the focal point of that Carolina offense was a big move. But
I almost had to do a double take.
They got to score. They got to be able to move the ball and then finish in the red zone.
I had to do a double take when we did this graphic. I think if we asked most Americans What is Carolina 5-4? They would have looked at you like you're nuts. One of the sneakiest 5-4 teams. I mean, even the way we're talking about them in this game, like, well, the Packers didn't show up. Everything went against them. They got to do this. We're giving almost no respect to a Carolina team that's 5-4 in this league.
No, I'm giving him a ton. I think Canales was brilliant in his game strategy. I think the way he laid the game out, connecting his offensive strategy with special teams taking the ball, and then obviously getting the wind in the fourth quarter for the game-winning kick. Offensively, ball control, time of possession, long methodical drives. Obviously, they just handed it to Rico a billion times. And then defensively, it was bend, don't break. They gave up a couple chunk plays over the top, but for the most part, kept it long 8 to 10 play drives. And then they took the ball away twice, and they made Green Bay settle for field goals. Like, that's modern offense. That's modern defense. And that is what everyone around the league should be doing. It should be light boxes, heavy coverages. If you run the ball on me, I don't care. I'm going to make you go the length of the field. Don't throw it over my head for one play touchdowns. And I'm going to spend all week trying to be as good as humanly possible defending the red zone. If you do that, you are going to find yourself in a lot of games in today's NFL.
I think you got to tip your hat to the mental toughness of the Carolina team. I watched them a week ago against Buffalo. In Buffalo, I think they were going to run for 500 yards. I mean, Cook had 220 yards rushing on 15 carries. He was untouched to the end zone 3 times. They got their brains beat in. And now they go on the road at Green Bay. I don't know who the heck some of these guys are on defense, Greg, but this Christian Roseboom guy, I mean, he had 15 tackles, man. And the mental toughness that they showed as a football team going into Lambeau and knocking out Green Bay says a lot about Canales and the character of this team.
Yeah. I called that Buffalo game. So, I mean, I literally saw Carolina both extremes. I called them at home, get bludgeoned by Buffalo, then follow them on the road and watch them win a game in Lambeau against what a lot of people, including myself, I started the broadcast saying them is Green Bay and Philly. Are those the 2 teams to beat in the NFC? Now you start saying maybe it's Seattle and Philly. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if it is.
Seattle looked great. Seattle looked great yesterday. We'll get to that game, but the headline game was and I don't even know how you look at it. The Chiefs, Bills. The Bills, I don't even think the score really indicated how badly they beat them. I thought the Bills pretty much controlled this game. They win by a touchdown. The question is, does it matter? Because the Bills now 5-0 in the regular season versus the Chiefs. Then you flip it to the postseason, which, by the way, if it started tomorrow, the Chiefs would not be in, I don't think. I don't think anyone here thinks they're going to miss the playoffs. But what do you do with this game? Yeah, it's an important game for Buffalo, but they've already proven they can beat the Chiefs lights out in the regular season. Greg, what do you got here on this game?
Yeah, I think this is what we've seen the last couple of years. I think if you ask Sean McDermott, if you ask Brandon Beane, if you ask Josh Allen, if you ask the powers to be in Buffalo, the expectation behind closed doors is everything. The regular season is a formality. And that's a compliment to what they've done over the last couple of years. All of the time, all of the energy being spent there is how do they get this team to peak, to play winning ball come playoffs. It is get to the Super Bowl time. They are Super Bowl or bust. That's their roster. They got the MVP of the league. They've been a consistent winner, and they haven't been able to get past Kansas City in the playoffs. They think this style of play, the run game, the big personnels, they're offloading some of the, kind of the hero ball off of Josh Allen at times, which I think is going to help them, especially when they get to the playoffs. And defense and run game does have a little bit more impact on wins and losses as opposed to the regular season. So, yeah, they won't shy away. The reality is everything they're going to be judged upon is how they do in the playoffs, and they've earned that. That's the type of team that they are. That is not the norm across the league. But when you're a team that's a perennial contender and you can't quite get over that next step, that's where all the eyeballs are going to lay. And I didn't catch much of the game, but I had them the week before against Carolina. They looked awesome. And this is a Super Bowl or bust. Can they win in an AFC that maybe is not as strong as we came into the season thinking they were going to be, right? And I think, Baltimore's down. How good are the Chargers? How good are the Broncos? And then obviously Kansas City. So Maybe the AFC is down and they got a shot.
They're not even first place in their division right now,
The
Gregory.
Patriots, I know.
John, what'd you think? Any importance on this win, considering what happens in the postseason?
Well, I just think home field advantage is a really important thing in the playoffs. And normally this game at the end of the year will have a lot to do with who has home field advantage throughout. But to your point, Dave, right now Kansas City's got 4 losses. I do think Buffalo sent a message, though, to Kansas City that we ain't going away. I think Joey Bosa is a huge addition for this Buffalo team. And obviously, if Kansas City doesn't get their tackle back, Josh Simmons on the left side, and if Jawan Taylor continues to make penalties on the right side, they're going to have a hard time getting to the championship again and winning it. But I was really impressed with Buffalo, man. This Josh Allen, you talk about the beast of the East. They don't really get it done with receivers on the outside. They lean on Cook. They lean on his scrambling, quick screens to Shakir, and Dalton Kincaid made his presence felt. Buffalo is a hell of a team at home. If they can get home field throughout in the playoffs, I'll still take Buffalo to get to the Super Bowl.
Last question. If you're a fan of these two teams, which team are you waking up more sad and be like, maybe we're not who we thought? The Colts throw their first real dud of the season, losing to, I don't think, a very good Steelers team. A great win for the Steelers. And then the Lions, which to me was an absolute stunner because I do have the Lions in my group of teams that could be a Super Bowl team. Lions lose at home, basically double-digit favorites to J.J. McCarthy in the Vikings. So what was more alarming? Or are we still in the part of the season where things are shifting? I mean, we come on the show and it's like, with the team we're praising one week, where we're absolutely dragging a Middle Earth the next. I don't know when that changes, but what loss shocked you or would be like, oh, maybe this team isn't what we thought? Coach, I'll start with you. Colts or the Lions?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I would say the Lions, honestly, coming off a bye week, playing at home where they've had great success against a quarterback that hasn't even played. And they're playing an opponent that they've had a lot of success again. They have had Minnesota's number, but they didn't get the running game going. They chose to throw a lot of these bubble screens and quick screens, which you like, Dave. And it just didn't ever feel like the Lions got into a rhythm at all. And Minnesota wasn't unbelievable on offense, but I give McCarthy credit, man. He audibled a couple times. He scrambled a few times. Other than the interception, he played a good game. But I'm surprised. You know, Detroit lost 30-17 in Kansas City. Now this loss to Minnesota. They're not the same Lion team they were a year ago.
Greg?
Yeah, I agree. I when I was watching the scores kind of roll in during our game, that game caught my attention. I mean, Indianapolis has been a great story. I think they're playing real ball. I think they're going to be a playoff team. Shane Steichen, if they continue to win, you know, you get into the whole coach of the year, what he's done with Daniel Jones, turning that around from a season ago. But yeah, I agree with Coach. I think the Lions game, I think Minnesota had a lot of noise, a lot of questions swirling around the quarterback position. You know, we find out Carson Wentz has been playing banged up with that shoulder, just kind of bridging the gap till they get J.J. McCarthy back off the ankle. And then there was a lot of speculation and rumor about, you know, how committed are they to J.J. McCarthy? And you know, you get mixed reports coming out of Minnesota. So I thought Detroit, for a team that's been in the fire now the last couple of years, been a true contender, been one of the better team, you know, one of the best teams in the NFC, as opposed to Indianapolis, which is kind of the feel-good story right now. They're still kind of getting used to winning again, getting used to being a team that people circle on their schedule to go after. Detroit's been that now for the last couple of years. So yeah, that game surprised me a little bit. I like a lot of what Minnesota did. I had them earlier in the year, and at the time I called some of their early games. I was like, they got a shot here. The defense with Flores is really exotic and aggressive, and they get after you. I love Kevin O'Connell. I think he calls good ball. I kind of faded on him a little bit the last couple of weeks. I didn't think they looked good on either side of the ball, but that was a heck of a statement against a really good Lions team that, again, a lot of people have them, you know, at or near the top of the NFC, along with, you know, Philly and Seattle and, you know, that group.
Yeah, Seattle looked real. We maybe cut them short, but they were dominating last night. And also, I get a good credit to JJ. I don't know if you saw what he wore to the game and his post game, but he had the Sharon Moore blue collar car mechanic JJ blue shirt on. So that Michigan culture floating into the NFL, getting the blue-collar work back to W's. Speaking of college, Greg, I think you were all pepped up on Miami earlier in the year. Suffers a second devastating loss, and if you go online, Danny Boy, Kane, and crew, they are not happy with Mario Cristobal. Where I know you played with him, what are your thoughts on the U right now?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the reality is the reality. It's disappointing, to now give up 2 after you find yourself clearly, not only in the hunt to be in the ACC championship and compete for the first ever conference title, which is hard to believe since they've moved to the ACC. But, it felt like they had a clear path to, making it to the college football playoff. And now with these 2 losses, I don't know what the future holds. It's disappointing. Obviously, I'm biased. I love Mario as a guy. We go way back. I've known him. He coached me. I've known him since I was a kid. So obviously, I'm always rooting for him. I'm rooting for the school. But the reality is, when you beat Notre Dame and you beat Florida and you beat Florida State and things are rolling high, and when they get to 2 in the country, 3 in the country at the height. So, expectations are real, especially at a school like Miami, that people are just dying to officially say, all right, Miami is back to what we know of 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And, it just seems this continues to be the hurdle we just can't get over. We can't sustain that after early season September success. We can't sustain it into the back half of the season. And that's just real. And again, it's not criticism. It's not that we don't like them. I root for them. I pull. But the reality of the college football landscape is it's very competitive. It's real. And you got to come to play every single week. And they haven't been able to do that.
We may have another, Malasek may have to get the Gruden coaching availability board up there and add another school real soon, Coach. You may have
for an update. When are we going to get an update? I feel like if anybody should get the update, it's us coming on this show.
It should be broken on this show. The big board. He can live anywhere in the country at this point. There's a new job opening every other day.
Man, Coach, give us something.
I'm speechless. I don't know what to say to you guys. All I know is I hear Portnoy's coming to Tampa this weekend. That's all I know for the Tampa Bay 2-time world champions coming off their bye. I can't wait to see you, boss.
Bucks, Pats, big game. Listen, everyone polishing Buffalo this, Buffalo that, home field this, home field that. The Patriots have the best record in the AFC, my friends, and we already beat Buffalo on the road in a mark of all great. We didn't play our best football yesterday, but as I was lecturing Brandon and T-Bob in this great league of ours, the NFL, I don't care if you win by 1 or 1,000. It's hard to win in this league, and if you get a win, you take it and you go. That's what the great teams do. So if we beat Buffalo at home, the Super Bowl this is a true story. I was looking up. It's in Santa Clara this year. Back in my heyday, I'd start booking my hotels right about now for the Super Bowl, and I wasn't happy. I think Santa Clara is a lousy Super Bowl city. That's how far advanced I'm looking. I'm looking at travel. So if we beat Buffalo at home, it goes through Foxborough, and that's a place. You know how many times the Chiefs have beaten the Patriots in the playoffs? 0. All right, thanks, guys.
I don't like Santa Clara either. I lost the Super Bowl.
It's a terrible Super Bowl city.
Well, I just hate it because we lost. So I'm holding a grudge because we lost. So
Cam Newton not falling on the fumble.
Relax, Dave.
I'll see you guys later.
See you guys later.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. Wake Up Barstool. It is time to talk some college football. That was a really good breakdown on the G-Spot today. Dude, I loved what Olsen was talking about with modern defense, actually. Always great insight from the football G-Spot. Now, though, it's time for college football's #1 media personality. That's right. The man who will forget more college football than you'll ever know. Brandon Walker has a brand new college football top 10.
All right, so obviously the big story from the weekend in college football is Mississippi State getting their first conference win in 2 years. That was huge and gigantic. Showed the heart and the grit of a champion. This is probably the best 5-4 team in the country. But here we go. I got #1 Ohio State. They continue to they played a corpse of a Penn State team. Penn State showed a little bit of fight and a little bit of vigor, but Ohio State, Julian Sayin is probably the best quarterback in the country.
So again, we had this debate a little bit Saturday night. He is very good, and he's on an incredible team. We're like, look, if you took any top quarterback and you give them those two receivers to throw to, they're going to look pretty damn good. Julian Saint's playing perfect right now.
We got Indiana at number 2, A&M at number 3. I still got Alabama at 4. I got Georgia at 5 just to prop them up for when they get beat this weekend. BYU up to 6. Oregon slides down to 7. BYU passes them. I got Ole Miss 8. Notre Dame 9. And then Texas Tech number 10. Notre Dame sneaking back up into the top 10 with the 2 losses from earlier this season. But I think they are a very good team. And then I had Mississippi State 11 and Texas 12 because those are probably the next 2 best teams. Dave, I see a quizzical look on your face.
No, I don't.
It's a BYU thing, right?
No, I'd have BYU high. I mean, BYU, I'm going to have the same argument. They didn't play this week, and they certainly will be talking about them next week at this time, one way or the other, because they have a monster game against Texas Tech. I think BYU and Texas Tech are the 2 best teams in the Big 12. Listen, how can you? I don't disagree with anything you said. In fact, even though I am a diehard Michigan guy, I think I was actually the first one on any public airway that said Julian Sayin scared the bejesus out of me. He's very good. I get that. I do think we're overlooking what Michigan did. Probably a lot of people are watching that World Series game, but they absolutely
a 5-point win over Purdue.
What?
They brutalized them with that run game at the end there when they needed to get a first down. They got it.
You can't even say it with a straight face.
Continues to cruise along in a collision course for Ohio State.
I saw that Bryce Underwood, who I think is a very talented freshman, is on pace to almost get to 10 touchdown passes this year. So kudos to that electric offense.
I don't know the injury on Donovan McCulley got hurt. I don't know what he is. We're going to have to be full strength for the Buckeyes, no doubt, and we can't sleepwalk. We got to bye this week in the Northwestern. But, yeah, it was a fairly formful college football Saturday, wasn't it? I mean, Miami, I guess, losing was a shocker.
Georgia Tech losing as well. Georgia Tech.
That wasn't that. Did that surprise you that much?
Not
It was a
really.
bad spot.
And we had this debate last week about why isn't BYU and Georgia Tech higher? And I'm like, Georgia Tech's just not very good. Georgia Tech's tried to lose like 2 or 3 times. They finally got it done. But if you went into that weekend, the ACC looked a lot stronger on paper than it looks coming out because Miami loses, now Georgia Tech loses. And when everybody's going to be getting together and trying to figure out the 12 over the next few weeks, it is now clear the ACC has become probably a 1-bid league when last week we would have said it was a 2-bid league. So that kind of cleaned some things up as far as the college football playoff goes.
Yeah, that is where we always go down our rabbit holes here because I just think they're, again, in all these conferences, they're far more similar than they are dissimilar, meaning like, all right, ACC, Florida State still, I know you're going to say week 1, but Florida State trash Alabama. And if you look around, Kentucky goes and gets a win in the SEC. These conferences, it's just hard to go unblemished through. You have 2 teams who have clearly separated. 3. I'll give A&M credit.
Sure.
They haven't lost. So you got Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, who I really think are clearly right now the 3 best teams. And you go look at it. I mean, Florida could have beat Georgia the other day. These conferences are very similar, so nothing is overly surprising. I guess you got to mention Nebraska, man. They look poised to maybe get a victory, albeit versus a lowly ranked top 25 team. They've lost now 29 straight times to ranked teams. That stat is starting to go up there like a Joe DiMaggio hit streak, like something that may never be broken. They lose the quarterback to a fibula injury. I hated these all-black uniforms to start. It's Big Red. I get that they're the black shirts on defense. I knew they weren't winning this game in these uniforms, but my God. And Will Compton, I texted him. I said, God only gives it what's his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers.
That's right.
Yeah.
29 straight losses to ranked teams for Nebraska football. This may be the saddest team in college football, Nebraska.
Well, not only that, but listen, this coaching carousel is going as it is, and there was the Penn State stuff with Matt Rule. They just gave an extension and a lot more money to a guy that can't beat a ranked team.
Yeah.
29 straight. And now there's teams like, I don't know, I'm sure I'm trying to think who, like a Mississippi State. If you told me that was their record, I'd be like, well, they're horrible. But Nebraska always seems to have some degree of hope. They got the national championship pedigree, albeit a long time ago. But 29 This isn't Purdue. 29 straight
Dave,
losses versus ranked teams.
Do you know the Matt Rule stats versus the ranked teams? Did you see those floating around?
It's about the same.
It can't be good.
So on a week in which Matt Rule gets extended to 2032, he is now 0-8 at Nebraska against ranked teams, and he's 2-22 for his 22-24. Excuse me, 2-24 for his entire career. He's in fact, even in the 2 wins, the highest ranked team he beat was ranked 23rd.
Well, and that's where we mentioned it. And Matt Rule, by all accounts, is a very nice guy. He's come on this program. I've gone on his podcast, so I like the guy. But I don't. They're protecting this guy like he's the reincarnate of Nick Saban and Bill Belichick at their primes. I don't get when they said Penn State was trying to steal Matt Rule, and Penn State and Nebraska is trying to protect him, which they do, and give him a contract. This ain't Kurt Snetti. This is a guy 0-29 versus ranked teams. Nebraska, crazy.
Yeah, and we have another job open in the SEC. Hugh Freeze is out at Auburn. Listen,
bad.
If you talk about shocked on Saturday, I was shocked when Auburn lost to Kentucky because Auburn has been this close all year, and they came out with nothing. No life, no anything. They put in a new quarterback. He couldn't do anything. They were awful. Hugh Freeze out of there. So that's now 4 SEC jobs, right? You got Arkansas, you got LSU, you got Florida, and you got Auburn. I think it's a very good job, but they're also crazy down there. If anybody's going to upset the apple cart and do something really stupid during this coaching cycle, it's the Auburn Tigers.
Well, I think you get delusion, right, in college football. All these teams think they should be one-loss playoff bowl teams, but you're going to consistently nowadays in this NIL era, in the league of parity, it's hard to do that. And you're going to have stunning losses, and I don't know what you do. It goes back to James Franklin. We'll find out. We'll find out whether that is a premature move because you have one bad year, you get rid of the guy. Time will tell.
Well, the thing about Auburn, though, is they have a delusional fan base who believes they should be winning a national title every year, and they're going crazy because their 2 main rivals are Alabama and Georgia, and over the last decade, that's enough to drive a man insane.
Well, yeah, and maybe like what Dave's talking about, I think that maybe applies more to like an LSU, where the bottom never fell out at LSU. Yeah. Brian Kelly's just deeply unlikable and whatnot. Auburn's been garbage. They've been complete garbage under Hugh Freeze. They've invested a ton of money. They have a lot of NFL talent on the roster. I mean, Liam, how do you feel about Cam Coleman and those weapons and what the offensive purgatory that Hugh Freeze has kept them in?
Yeah, depression. There's no other word to describe it. Cam Coleman has shown signs of early onset George Pickens, and rightfully so. If I was a highly touted wide receiver, there's so many things I'd rather do than go play football at Auburn for Hugh Freeze, Jackson Arnold, Daniels. Like, what a disaster. I could go play anywhere else. Why? Cam Coleman's probably been looking at a new place in Tuscaloosa or
he's about to get
wherever
paid.
it be. Cam Coleman's
Eric Singleton, all those guys.
A sick chunk of change before he gets that big time NFL money. That's like one of college football's most underperforming players, strictly because of the position that he's in. Feel bad for Cam Coleman. To watch Cam Coleman.
He chose to go there, Liam.
Of course he chose to go there. You could still feel bad for a guy when, you're questioning why Auburn didn't show up on Saturday, and I'm thinking, well, they paid Jackson Arnold good money, and they end up benching him. I think Hugh Freeze just lost the team. I think the team is very cognizant of the fact that, hey, Daniels can't throw a football either.
Yeah.
He's significantly worse than Arnold. It was a move out of desperation for Hugh, but the team also knows, we're dead.
Yeah.
Look, hour 1 of the books here on Wake Up Barstool. Still a ton of NFL talk and college football to get to in hour number 2. We got Coach Gruden Shredline as well. Stick around here on FS1. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool here on FS1. Still got to get to a lot of NFL Sunday. Patriot Dave, I know, still probably has many thoughts lined up. I want to talk about that insane Bears-Bengals game. But one of the big kind of sports stories over the weekend, you just go look on Twitter, wherever else, it's about the Internet Invitational, a massive YouTube golf tournament, Dave, that you were one of the architects of. And it's a lot of drama surrounding Luke Kwon Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Did he get too much grief? Did he not? I loved Gruden's speech, kind of telling everybody, look, we got to lock it in anyway. But yeah, it has been
and the new episode
content.
New episode airs today, episode 3. I think the first episode, last time I checked, over 4 million views on YouTube. Second episode, over 3 million views. People are consuming, watching. And what's happening is the Barstool world is colliding with the golf world. And we're a little bit less couth than the golf world. So Luke Kwon, who's a spectacular golfer, like he won on tour, overslept his tee time. And, I gave a 4-hole penalty. A lot of people complained about that. Ryan Whitney's the villain right now on the internet because he ripped him apart like he's in a hockey locker room. The PGA Tour is defending Luke Kwon. Golfers are defending Luke Kwon. Luke Kwon did a 20-minute apology video. You don't apologize 20 minutes. I don't know what you create a 20-minute apology video. You have to nuclear bomb somebody for that. So a 20-minute video, everyone's taking sides. Listen, Luke Kwon deserves everything he gets, all right? He overslept. He's a grown man. It's 9:30 tee time. He let his teammates down. It's a team sport. Now, am I like, did I think about it beyond day one? No. Were we civil after? Yes. But you oversleep a tee time. I don't want to hear people crying or being, oh, poor Luke Kwon, poor Luke. No, that's his fault. He missed the tee time. Now, did I in my content brain was like, this is great video. I'm so happy this moron overslept. Of course I was happy. Of course it made the video controversial. But I didn't go out of my way. Sometimes God taps me on the shoulder, and in 20 years, he says, Dave, I'm going to give you a silver platter of content. And it's this idiot, Luke Kwon, oversleeping his tee time. Fine. But all the people crying, poor Luke Kwon, show up and none of it happens. It's not the end of the world. It was the end of this tournament for him in day one, and all the criticism is justified.
Dave, as somebody who's been in a boss position for a long time, where does oversleeping and like punctuality, where does that rate on your scale of things that annoy you?
Yeah, so I am a massive punctuality guy. Now, at this company, we do not, you don't punch in, you don't punch out. No one's keeping track when you get there. But let's, per se, the show, Wake Up Barstool, if one of you guys was 30 seconds late to that would really annoy me and you would hear from me. Frankie Borelli, who's in this thing, so through the good fortune of Barstool, we were able to upgrade from flying back of the bus to getting private flights. Frankie Borelli showed up 30 seconds late to a private airplane. I said, Frankie, you're not getting on the plane. You wouldn't do this to a commercial flight. I made him leave and take a 10-connection flight back to the office. So there's certain things where punctuality, super, super important. I've always been very punctual. I mean, Austin, who's my guy, would probably say Dave is never late for anything. Never. So I take it super serious. There's not too many things, though, in our world where we have set times. But for the ones we do, you better not be late.
So
to me, it's an insult.
Good to know. Look, I'm trying to learn since we're still.
You don't respect my time. That's how I take it. I'm here. There's a time. If you're late, that's a direct insult, slap in the face to me.
Also, 9:30 in the morning is not late at all.
Yeah,
like not early at all. 9:30
when you're
in the morning,
on the course.
9:30 in the morning is crazy. Anyway, I don't care about the punctuality of it. I'm a punctual guy myself. I've never violated anything that Dave says about punctuality or anything like that. But when he got there, he was a jerk to PFT. He was rude to PFT the whole time. He's like, you can't make this putt. You can't do this. And part of his 20-minute apology was like, yeah, I didn't mean any offense when I was talking to him like that. Yeah, you did.
He also showed no accountability when I'm like, do you want to appeal? You should have been kicked out. He's like, you're right. Again, it's our world colliding with his world. I'm not even sure he knew this was going out online like the way he was acting.
So our world is every now and then, I've been here 6 years, every now and then you mess up and you got to eat it. And you got to eat it for a while. And I don't think these golf YouTubers are used to eating it like this. And Kwon's getting served it right now and he doesn't like the flavor of it. But sometimes you got to eat it.
I tell you, in that lunch break when Whitney was going at him, it was uncomfortably awkward. Like I could tell there were people, I loved it, but there were people who are not used to this type of head-on confrontation. I don't know if you guys saw the clip, hilarious, of the Chicklets guys talking about the incident, dead serious. Like they were talking about it like they were talking about, an election. It was a very serious conversation, but they were in full Halloween costumes. It's laugh out loud funny. Whitney is Batman. Yandel was Frankenstein, and I think Biz was the Pope, but it's very funny.
I think somebody was the dead body from Stand By Me. I'm not. Maybe I'm getting my Halloween costumes confused. But all right. So go check out the Internet Invitational.
I just want to say on Kwon to wrap things up. One, we invited him on today, and I think he overslept that, so he won't be here. And then two, just during that lunch, people are talking about Kwon, and they're saying about this guy. This is the type of guy that's going to end up throwing things on purpose. He's going to hit bad shots on purpose and make everyone else miserable because they're mad at him for oversleeping. Potentially a bad guy.
I think you're all seeing like team sports running into individual sports, and that's why Whitney gets so triggered. Because I get that.
No, it's
like,
the Barstool world.
What I'm
we're
saying
relentless.
is, though, from Whitney's perspective, though, also like that's as a teammate, that is so unbelievably different. These golf guys don't get it. It's a very me world in which they live in a lot of times.
And there's not a lot of face-to-face. We are a face-to-face conflict organization. A lot of the guys involved, women involved, not so much. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've said this since we filmed and wrapped the Internet Invitational. People aren't even going to this is going to be a bleep. Luke Kwon will be a non-factor in what people remember from the Invitational by the time it's over. It just ramps up when it's one of the best things we've ever done. And things kept breaking. Everything kept coming up Dave Portnoy. Like I couldn't believe what was being handed to me on the golf course.
It's a new episode dropping today. It's episodes Mondays and Thursdays, guys. It's the Internet Invitational. It's awesome. NFL yesterday, a ton to get to. How about the craziest game of the day? Bears-Bengals, a game in which Chicago Bears look like they have it completely wrapped up.
Oh, my goodness.
Then Joe Flacco somehow finds a way to come back, and they take the lead. Oh, my God, the Bengals are going to win against all odds, and then it flips back with Caleb Williams and Colston Loveland. No timeouts, 20 seconds, touchdown, Bears win. And the Chicago Bears, Brandon, are now 5-3.
Yeah, that division kind of got turned upside down yesterday.
Yeah,
with the Packers losing, with the Lions losing, and the Vikings winning, and the Bears winning. Like this, I think it was 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. Flacco throws a pick six. They're down 14. He throws a pick six. It gets called back for down by contact. They still come back, still take a lead. They still do all the onside kicks.
What the hell is 27 doing? What the hell is 27 doing?
There's so much going on, man.
Well, these teams, what are they doing? This is when you just watch football. Watch what is 27 doing on this play? They'll show the other angle. It's even worse. I don't know what the heck he's doing. The second angle right here on 27. What is that accomplish?
Pathetic. Well, here's what's crazy, Dave. Coming into this game, the Bengals were leading the league with 81 missed tackles, okay? For some context, Commanders, second worst in the league at 56. So let's go a little bit further, okay? 81, 8 games, it's 10 missed tackles a game. They had 15 missed tackles yesterday.
Not even, 15. I don't even know if 27 gets credit for missed tackle. Like
that was
like it wasn't even a tackle attempt.
Versus a grown man. No attempt to wrap up, no nothing. This is one of those things. Listen, I'm just a guy, right? I'm just a guy who's watching football. These are professional athletes. How does that happen at the end of it? I do not know how paid professional athletes on both sides can let games get away. And you see it so much in the NFL where things are kind of conservative and wrapped up for 3 quarters and all hell breaks loose. I'll never understand at the end of that game. I'll never understand it. But 27, he'd be working. He'd be working at the Subway or something if I was on the Bengals. Get that guy off my team.
Well, did you see Chase Brown?
Soft. That's SEC soft. The Big Ten man's actually going to make that tackle.
What are you doing right here?
It was a Big Ten man
What are you
who
doing?
it was a Big Ten man who ran for a touchdown. You're not going to tackle a Michigan tight end with a love tap. I'll tell you that.
Also, there's
Him and Meek have been hanging out too much, Brand. I think they've been.
Oh,
kissing
come
back
on,
there.
I'm a Big
He's
Ten
got
guy.
He's got a little brown rubbed off on his nose.
I'm a Big Ten guy. I'm a Loveland guy. Whatever. There's civil war happening inside the Bengals locker room as you were.
Yeah, did you see Chase
Yeah,
Brown after the game?
I'll catch you on Monday.
Yeah, he's just effing in the game.
The offense is like begging for one stop with Jamar and Chase Brown. One stop, just end the game. The defense is declining to speak to media, where they're laughing and saying, "Catch you on Monday."
So how about
Very
this? The Bengals have now lost 6 games. If you go back to last season, in which they've scored 30, and they just became the first team since the 60s to lose back-to-back games where they scored at least 38.
You know, and I love Joe Burrow. I'm a Joe Burrow guy, but this offense looks so explosive. You can put Old Man Time or anybody in there, and you're going to score 40.
So this is kind of
Maybe they trade Joe Burrow and get some defensive guys.
This is kind of my Julian Sayin theory a little bit. I mean, you look at the T. Higgins and Jamar Chase combination, that's going to make any quarterback better. Look how much better Joe Flacco looks here than he did with the Browns. So I'm not saying Sayin's not great, but
I mean, you're right. Listen.
Sorry, I don't mean to make.
Ohio State has great receivers, but you're a little off on Sayin. Sayin throws darts.
No, he's great.
Darts.
We don't need to make this about Sayin. We don't even. That's a separate conversation, more of a
Sayin's
podcast.
great. They didn't look the same last year. I knew they were beatable last year. I know we don't want to go into this, Ohio State. I'm a little on my nervousness. It's it's from 0% to 4% that we could lose in November.
So you're still 96% sure Michigan beats Ohio State?
96.
Yeah,
On the Dave scale.
Wow, that's critically low.
It is critically low on my scale. What about, by the way, NFL? Speaking of Michigan, J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
He looked good. He looked solid.
People writing him off. You got that lunatic who stalks him here, Ohio's Tate, who honestly I think is a mean, delusional guy. Like he follows JJ McCarthy like from his hotel room to be like, oh, he jaywalked. Like whatever he does, he's on it. That's a great performance from JJ. Goes in, gets a huge win on the road. Vikings right back in that division. He wore the shirt. The Sharon Moore blue collar shirt. Vikings right back in the mix.
So, I generally side with Ohio State in the Michigan-Ohio State war here at Barstool, but you're right about Ohio State. He should be on a list, Dave. I'm concerned about him a lot.
Crazy.
He's insane. He's an insane football fan.
Yeah.
Well, he's a stalker.
Yeah.
Like he actually, if you ever attended, played, associated everything with Michigan, he basically harasses you. And in fact, I think the reason I am banned from Ohio State by Ryan Day is a basic confusion of Ryan Day. Because I've heard things that he said, like, oh, Dave said stuff about my family. That no, I didn't. I haven't said any of that. You know who may have said stuff about your family or God knows what when you lost to Michigan? Ohio State was probably trying to call in a bomb by then because he's that crazy. I haven't said anything. He's that nuts. Oh, this is beautiful.
That's an absurd look.
What football is about, getting back to your roots, getting back to working, channeling your inner Wolverine, wear the blue collar shirt, looks like he's at Jiffy Lube, go out and get a win.
Yeah, look, and it was
private school kid from suburban Chicago, never been a blue collar guy a day in his life.
This guy's
needed.
as blue collar as they come.
It was needed because obviously the talk all year has been like, is he actually that hurt? Are they just soft benching him? Is he even the future? And for at least 1 week and go to Detroit, get it done, KOC looks like he made the right bet.
I don't understand that soft bench for who? Carson Wentz? The kid was hurt.
Okay, That's
Ohio State.
Now you mention it. No, it was a real any given Sunday type of Sunday. I mean, there was that. You had the Panthers beating the Packers, which we touched on earlier. By the way, here's something I think your gambling brain will like, Dave. The Panthers, the second NFL team since 1970 to have a winning record through 9 games, despite being the underdog in every single game. So the Panthers
they're
consistently finding a way to surprise.
So crazy team. Like again, they're the most surprising. When I saw that they were 5-4, I had to do a triple take. I'm like, the Panthers are 5-4, really? And I think overshadowed the Seahawks, who absolutely destroyed Washington. It got overshadowed because of the injury to Jaden Daniels. That's all anyone's talking about. But Sam Darnold, another year, he's getting mentioned a little bit in MVP conversations.
Threw 4 touchdowns before he ever threw an incompletion.
Oh my goodness.
He was 16 of 16, 285, 4 tuds at halftime of that game.
And it just shows you in this league, and I get heat every time I say this. I've said on this show, I say it on our networks, I said it in Big Noon. When civilians, I'm a civilian, I'm wearing civilian clothes, I'm wearing my sunflower shirt, I'm out in the Keys, say, I know as much about football as the people running football, but how many teams has Sam Darnold been on? Where
5.
you have him, you let him go, he goes somewhere else. Has an unbelievable potential MVP season last season. Vikings let him go. They have McCarthy. They got to make a decision. He didn't have a good playoff game. Now he goes to Seattle. He's great again. Like, so how many of these front office people are just morons? And then you look at this 3-6 for Washington. That's a franchise I feel bad for. They had division. They had visions on going to the Super Bowl this year. They look like they've regressed 1,000%. Now your quarterback's a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, look, and there's still other odd results that we got to eventually break down as well. I mean, the Steelers' defense, which has been god-awful this year, suddenly shutting down the best offense in the entire NFL. So we got plenty more NFL talk coming up.
Let's end this with coaches. We were talking Internet Invitational. Coach went viral for the speech after Luke Kwon overslept, getting a bunch of golfers and trying to get him back out. The speech did nothing. They still got smoked in the next round, but it was a great viral moment. Let's see the speech.
Here's 2 things we can do. We can be pissed off, right? We can blame Kwon. We can blame ourselves. We can do whatever we want. Or we can roll up our fist and pound a rock. Are we clear on that? Yeah. We got the best player in the field right now. All right? Now you helped us dig this hole. You're going to dig us out of this hole.
Hell yeah.
Go. Every guy here, though, quit bitching about our problems. Start rolling the rock. Put the ball in the hole. Are we clear on that? Now, what are the matchups? Let's control what we can control. Don't worry about the we can't control. Some of you guys, I came a long way to watch you guys play. And he slept in, and hell, you guys slept in also. Game, let's go. Yes,
Hell yeah, Coach. That's how
Hey,
it's
me
done.
and Kwon came out of the tunnel. We won our match, Dave. Me and Kwon did our part. Some of those other guys on that picture, they let us down.
Well, this seems like the opposite of that speech when you're saying it's a team game. That went from a team game, we're all in this together, to, well, me and Kwon won our match. What about the other guys? Thanks for coming on, as always.
All right, guys, have a good one.
See ya.
All right, there he is, Coach John Gruden, Treadline. All right, let's get back to some of these NFL games that we haven't discussed yet. And let's start with the one that we teased at the end of last segment, which is Steelers-Colts. I mean, the Steelers' defense has been one of the biggest disappointments in the entirety of the NFL this year, highest paid defense, all that. They were even terrible the last 2 games. They lose both. And then, like, we can talk about Daniel Jones. A lot of people are going to talk about that. But to me, it's what they did to Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
I mean, the hottest running back in the league, and what did he end up with, about 45 yards? It was unreal. It was old school Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it was. And listen, you go to Pittsburgh this time of the year, you know, Pittsburgh is always capable of doing this. I do have a problem with Dave wondering, he didn't say it, he wondered if the Colts, if this is emblematic of them just not being as good as we thought, if this is something where they just tripped up or something like that. I think they just tripped up. I think in this league, and nobody knows it better than me, in this league it is hard to come 17 weeks in a row and be elite 17 weeks in a row. And I think the Colts were just due one of these stinkers, and that was their first real big stinker of the year.
That's fair. That is a totally fair take. And I'm a good barometer of when these things happen, because I was stunned by this result. They had played so well, but it does happen all the time in this league, and nobody knows it better than me, because I've seen many Patriot teams. I remember losing to Kansas City in the regular season early. I think it was Monday Night Football, and people asking Belichick if he's going to bench Brady, you know, and they win the Super Bowl that year. So we are still in, I get it. We're on FS1. We're in the media business, and you got to talk every week like it's life or death in this league. But, you know, we're early November, right? We haven't seen the turkeys come out yet. And what's going on in week 7, week 8, week 9? Yeah, you got to position yourself. But these teams are a shadow or are not what they're going to be when the money is on the line, the chips on the table, and people overreact, and that's what we do. So I think I agree with Walker. This is just one really bad game from the Colts. But I didn't think the Steelers were any good. That's what surprised me.
Do we think Daniel Jones could just be a dome merchant, though? Can he play outdoors? This is a game outdoors in Pittsburgh. A lot of his big wins this year are
San Diego. He looked pretty good.
Really?
That's warm weather, though.
It's kind of like a dome.
Can he win in the cold? We don't know.
Pretty much a dome.
Well, look.
It has a little opening.
I think to support this point, you can look for like statistical outliers. 6 turnovers. It's the exception, not the rule. It's not going to happen.
They laid an egg. They laid an egg.
It's not a big deal. I think the Colts are fine. Jonathan Taylor's fine. Do not sell. Coming up next, more NFL talk. We still got our Davey Day Trader stock game coming up as well. What are you buying, selling, holding this week? Don't go anywhere. More Wake Up Barstool right here on FS1. Go get a coffee. Welcome back, Wake Up Barstool. Okay, guys, it is time once again. Stock up, stock down. Sponsored by Davey Day Trading Global. As we take you into the world of sports, what should you be buying? What should you be selling? What should you be holding on to? Dave, take it away as our lead financial advisor. What do you got this week?
Yeah, I got a bunch here, so I'll just rip through them. Stock up, J.J. McCarthy comes back from injury. We've talked about it, leads the Vikings in probable win on the road, gets back to his roots, blue collar, car mechanic, wearing the Sharon shirt. Will Smith, baseball, amazing stat. 6 straight World Series rings for this guy. He's the one he hit the home run, right?
guys.
So I did this same thing, Dave. I did this same
Somebody
thing earlier
sent this
pre-show.
to me.
2 different guys. 2 Will Smiths last 6 World Series.
So who sent this to me and misled me? That guy's stock is in the toilet. Someone on this show sent me that.
Well, they still got Will Smith, the Dodger, has 3. The other Will Smith, the relief pitcher, won with the Braves, the Astros.
I don't care. Who cares if they have same name? Whoever's. I'm gonna look that up. Who sent?
Well,
this.
hold on now. To be fair, guys, let's relax. Dave, like I said, we're still learning. I'm learning what you like. To be fair, I texted a tweet of it to the group and said, "Is this the craziest stat I've ever seen?" And I was just meaning that Will Smith could win 6 games in a row. No, I never said Will Smith won 6 in a row himself. I never said
pictures of guys Will Smith. All right.
Those are different white guys. I saw the same tweet. I thought they were the same guy.
Then Sam Darnold's stock is up. The guy's having another MVP season. But let's go right into stock down. T-Bob for sending that in the chat is absolutely insane.
Down.
Say what a crazy stat. Who wouldn't have thought it was the same guy?
I thought it was the same guy. I looked at the pictures.
So
I thought it was
stock is down.
Down.
Your stock is down. Washington Commanders way down. Their fans way down. Packers down. Mario Cristobal way down. I love the guy. I don't know how you can say his stock is not down. Dion stock down. Everybody, all people who are on the sidelines of this ESPN YouTube fight, that's basically all of America, red-blooded Americans, everybody who wasn't at the No Kings rally, all those people, our stock is down because we got to buy a new thing. I do feel, I'll do if we want later, a rant on that subject I feel strongly about, but the American public stock down. And then Will Compton, nobody's stock is down more than his. Will Stock is a penny stock in Nebraska football. He's about to be delisted from the stock exchange.
Oh. All right, so I'll go here.
Okay, go.
I got one. This is buy low because this stock is about to skyrocket. It's the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa is 6-2, and they are unranked. They're behind teams like Tennessee. Tennessee is ranked with 3 losses. I have no idea why Tennessee is ranked. Iowa continues to not be ranked. They should be ranked. You Big Ten guys do kind of have a beef here with this team not being ranked. But this weekend, Oregon comes to Iowa City. Oregon is kind of a paper tiger right now. They're in the top 10. They have 0 ranked wins. Their one big win is not aging well at all. It's a double overtime win against Penn State. I think Iowa, who gave Indiana hell in Iowa City a couple of weeks ago, I think Iowa is positioned to win this game, take Oregon out of the top 10, put themselves at 7-2, and now all of a sudden they're in playoff talk coming down the stretch of the season. Buy Iowa stock right now. And I hate saying that because I don't have a great history with Iowa, but buy it right now.
That's August 30th, 2000. 2025, 5:59 p.m. Also, mark this down. Iowa is my sleeper team in the country this year. Who said that? I did.
Okay, well, you just you totally had your own chance to do your own stock there, and then you just
Well, they're
piggybacked
not
off
low to
mine.
me. They've never been low.
I like them outright this week.
I do too. I think they're going to beat Oregon. Oregon again.
I really do.
Oregon, no ranked wins, and Indiana barely got out of Iowa City alive.
Iowa's always a tough place to play. They always grind you there.
Gronowski finding his way a bit.
Oregon's 6.5. Gronowski's going to go do his thing.
Get those West Coast boys into Iowa City. It's going to get rough out there.
Shout out Ferentz. All right. Well, my stock is down, but I'll try to go anyway. Look, if you were buying Mario Cristoforo stock in the first place, I've been telling you for years, it's an awful investment. The guy's been a head coach for 15 years at this point and is 90-73. Okay, you take out last year, he's a 500 head coach with over a decade of sample size. Mario Cristoforo will always let you down, even when you think he's rounded the corner.
Is that your
Yes, that's my term. I've been saying it for years.
term?
Yeah.
I may have to knock you down a little bit for a cliche of a
Too
term.
cliche, Dave. I've been saying it for years.
Your stock is
As soon
plummeting.
as he lost, Stugatz texted me saying Cristoforo. I'm getting tweets saying Cristoforo.
Cristoforo. That is who would say something like that? Cristoforo.
White Sox Dave would say it. Nate would say it.
Are you just naming all the people that's going to trigger?
No, there's like someone out at Cristoforo. There's someone in particular who would have such a lame like nickname.
Okay. I just realized what he's doing.
What?
He's Bosco, right?
No, it's
Bosco
not a
wouldn't do
Barstool
Cristoforo?
No, that's actually
No.
the least Bosco thing.
Oh, okay.
All right. It's not.
All right,
I
this
don't know.
this is pointless. This is pointless. You know what, Dave?
Anyway,
your stock's down,
Your
buddy.
stock. No.
This is why
Dave,
this
your
game is
stock is
always
down for not
up
knowing
because
who
I
would say
already sold.
Cristoforo. How about
I
that?
already sold T-Bob's stock, and if you bought it then, it tanked even more.
Wow.
So that's why sometimes you sell and get out, and because not everything goes up.
I would say
bankrupt,
I would say hold all Colts stock. We kind of just discussed that. I think the Indianapolis Colts are completely fine. Don't move there. I tried to tell you to buy Mississippi State last week. The pains of today will be the foundations upon which the joys of tomorrow are built. I hope you did. Price went up this weekend, and price is going to go up again this weekend when the Barstool College Football Show goes to Starkville and Mississippi State comes out with a massive win over the UGA Bulldogs. World Series stock, that's right, baby. World Series stock, way up. Rojas stock, way
Walker's
up.
stock down because his sweatshirt just raised, and all of America got a fat, stock down Walker.
And then finally, college football playoff, Liam, 12-team playoff stock way up because every single Tuesday we're all going to watch a completely contrived and arguably pointless show that we'll spend the rest of the week making content out
Well,
of.
not all of us going to watch it. We don't all get that channel.
Oh, true. All right, boys, what you got? Stock up, stock down.
My stock up is spending money because the Los Angeles Dodgers showed that if you go out there and just buy all the best baseball players in the world, you too can win a World Series just like them. And also, J.J. McCarthy, there were people on this show trying to say that he faked an injury. No, he didn't. He was injured. He came back healthy and won as an 8.5-point dog on the road. So shout out J.J. McCarthy. I think the Vikings are alive in that division. My stock down. Joe Burrow, because Joe Flacco's been inserted into that offense and it just hasn't missed a beat. If the Bengals were 3-6 and normally you'd be like, oh, poor Joe Burrow, he's putting up stats, defense sucks. Joe Flacco's doing the same thing. And also the Chargers. Joe Alt has been injured yesterday. That offense isn't going to perform with them, so I'm going to buy stock down on the Chargers. I think they missed the playoffs.
Going to buy stock down.
But yeah, so what do you got?
Seahawks. I've been a Seahawks guy for years. I just love watching them. They have so many Liam guys. Another stock up is Michael Trigg, 6'4", 240 at Baylor. I have a picture on my screen. I don't know if they want to show it. This guy is a monster. He defies football. He's going to be a stud. Finally putting it all together. One of the best watchers in the sport. Stock down, Tucker Kraft fans. I'm devastated. I'm depressed. Stock down. Coaches using AI, and NWSL coaches leaning on AI as a crutch to solve her team's problems. The Flames coaches using AI to figure out how to attack teams. It's crazy. You're a professional coach in a professional league. Have some dignity and self-respect. It's crazy. You're leaning on AI. Pathetic.
NWSL.
All right. We got to go to break.
Women's Soccer League.
We got to go to break. When we get back, we got more Wake Up Barstool. We got to preview tonight's Monday night game as well as kind of fill in the corners on the football weekend that was. Don't go anywhere. It's right here on FS1. Dave, does this comically large coffee mug bring my stock back up?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I didn't even get it. Your stock is every time you talk right now in the last 10 minutes, we're going lower. You're going to get delisted just like Compton.
You're making it worse.
Okay. Well, okay. How about this then? You know is my stock worse than YouTube and Disney's and everybody involved in that right now?
So this has been obviously something people have been talking about because YouTube, Disney are in a contract dispute. Disney, ESPN want more money from YouTube. YouTube doesn't want to pay, and they took away all the college games. You got to buy ESPN now. It's chaos for a sports fan, and it sucks for us. It sucks for people who want to watch football. As a business guy, I totally get it. So I understand ESPN's point of view, and I understand YouTube's point of view. ESPN saying, hey, we pay all this money for all these rights for these conference games and live television. We don't think you're giving us enough. We think the reason sign up for YouTube TV is to watch football and watch these games, so we need more money. And YouTube's saying, no, we can't give you more money. So they have this impasse. And unfortunately, the way for the fans, this is how America works. We're going to find out because I was away and where I was staying this weekend had cable TV, so I had the channels. But of course I got to buy ESPN if I want to watch football, and we're going to find out. Does YouTube lose subscriptions, or does ESPN not get the signups they think? And it'll be resolved over time, most likely. But hey, this is America. This is capitalism. The market will dictate what the market wants, and it stinks for us. I'm under no delusion that Disney gives a crap about us or YouTube TV gives a crap about us. They're pointing the finger, putting us in the middle. They only care about their bottom lines, and unfortunately, the market, us, will dictate who wins in this argument. There's no point in complaining. The pocketbook will dictate it. As a business guy, I totally understand the fight. And my guess is ESPN wins.
Yeah, it's kind of the best content against the best interface. And I'm with you. I think content probably carries the day there. All right, nerds behind the desk, what did we miss today besides you betraying me?
MLB dropped the Gold Glove winners out of nowhere last night. I don't understand why baseball does this. You would think maybe just make it Wednesday or not during the middle of Sunday Night Football. It doesn't make any sense to do that. And the other thing I want to touch on, Brandon alluded to it, since Mississippi State's last SEC win before this Saturday was October 21st, 2023. Shohei Ohtani was still on the Angels. Victor Wembanyama did not make his debut. Nick Saban was still at Alabama.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Joe Flacco was still on his couch. Liam Blumman was not even hired since Mississippi State last won SEC.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Listen, their stock is up. They're playing some pretty good football.
So all that stuff is now gone now.
ESPN,
won an SEC game.
The TV showed the most depressing stat I've ever seen at the end of that game the other night.
Very funny, yeah.
Mississippi State's playing Arkansas, and they showed the stat with 2 minutes left. Mississippi State's last conference win versus Arkansas. Arkansas's last conference win versus Mississippi State last year. It was the most depressing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
okay?
it was so bad.
One brick being laid, second brick coming this week. And Liam, anything from you?
Well, our clocks are bad. People call us out for that. I don't know how to fix a clock, so we'll get that fixed probably by someone else. Matthew Schaefer, special D-man for the New York Islanders, #1 overall pick. Hockey's so up right now. 18-year-old D-man, 5 goals, 10 points in 12 games, tied first among rookies in points, first among defensemen in goals. He's 18 years old doing this in National Hockey
talking hockey
from
in early
day one.
November.
We're talking hockey. I could also talk esports if we want, Dave. I won't get into it, though.
Shout out Faker.
Shout out Faker, mayor from Plains, the world's final.
You don't know how to fix a clock. You take it off the wall and you wind it a little bit.
Bro, there's no way. They're entirely too young.
This is
No, I know how to do it.
This is my clock.
Well, no.
Then do it then. Then do it during the commercial if you know how to do it. Prove it
right now, Meek. Packers also 0-2 as a
I don't know how to do it.
point favorite grader this season. Good.
Kayla Nicole, how much time we got, T-Bob?
Like 10 seconds. We got to take a break. We get to it on the other side. All right.
I may have a little Kayla Nicole versus Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce rant on tap here.
There you go. Closing it out with that next here on FS1. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. If you don't see me again on this show, it's been great, guys. But right now, it's time for Dave to break down a Kayla Nicole Halloween video where it appears that she went and attacked Taylor, Dave.
Yeah, so this is when we did the show. They said I could talk about anything I wanted. This is right up my alley. So Kayla Nicole's the ex of Travis Kelce. She went uber viral, like next level viral. On TikTok, everything I swiped, she's doing a Toni Braxton song. She's remaking the video. Now, Kayla Nicole is a gorgeous woman, so everyone's talking about that. But the lyrics of the Toni Braxton song are essentially, while your man is sleeping with you, he's thinking of me. The man wasn't man enough for me. It's clear shots at Taylor Swift and Travis, and she's talked about them a lot and taken shots. So the entire internet, what I saw, it's like, oh, Taylor's never going to come back from this, and game over, and Kayla Nicole won Halloween. And here's my take on this. Listen, if you're talking 4 years later about your ex-boyfriend, you already lost. Now, you can argue this is the only way people will talk about Kayla Nicole, which is true. The only time she's in the headlines is when she's trying to interject herself in Travis Kelce, Taylor drama, or she's whining and crying that the Swifties are being mean to her. Boo hoo hoo. Well, that's fine. You can make these videos, and she looks great in the video. Don't cry to me when the Swifties or somebody like me is on Wake Up Barstool, a traditionally pro sports show, somehow talking about you. That's fine. But just know what you're getting yourself into. And again, when you're talking about your ex-boyfriend who dumped you 4 years ago and who is married to the most famous woman in the world, who's engaged now, I think you're the loser. I think you've lost that battle. It's 4 years ago. So all the people on TikTok and social media, oh, Kayla Nicole won this round. She won the battle. I don't want to be Taylor Swift. She got dumped 4 years ago and is still talking about it. If you want to stay in the news, that's fine. She looks great. But I don't think Taylor and Travis are losing a bunch of sleep over the borderline stalker now category when you're still talking about it 4 years later.
Yeah, this is, young people, as you still are struggling to figure out the clocks, and I see you Googling time zones to figure it out. This is clout chasing, right? Like she just hopped on Taylor's coattails here to get a little run.
And speaking of clout chasing, using that phrase,
my
Mario
first quiz
Krista
me.
fraud seems like some Frank the Tank clout chasing right there.
Hey, look, man.
He was like Frank's basement, too.
Again, I think after this, I just love this, dude. This is my first Quigs meme. I kind of feel like that means my stock's going back up. But hey, guys, look.
No, stock back down. About stock up, stock down.
Stock up. Anyway, if this is my last Monday on the show, guys, it's been real fun. If I get delisted, it is what it is. I love you all. Dave, Brandon, Meek, Liam, another excellent day with you all. Great job by all the production back in the production room as well. Yeah,
4 years. You've been dumped for 4 years and you're still making songs. Get over it.
Yeah, it's a bad
Find
look.
a new man. There's got to be a song. Somebody has a song, Find Me a New Man. Where my husband at? That's another TikTok meme.